This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol live. It's a freaking Wednesday. Clinically, my lord, warlord, good evening, welcome. Will the Justin meltdown continue? Probably. I've made an ass out of myself, 2 out of the 3 nights so far this week. We'll go for 3 out of 4 tonight. Yeah! What graphics? What are you talking about? Fix my graphics. Everything looks fine, right? I need some anti-Hassan fucking graphic. I'm sorry. I sent a message to Flash. I'm really sorry, but I never want to hear the name Hassan again. And it's not like I don't have anything against him. I just don't care. I see what Flash was talking about. He was more happy that Mahmoud Khalil was getting a platform. I understand that. I played you Mahmoud Khalil's comments when he got out. Him and his lawyer at AOC at the press conference. I don't care what Hassan is doing. Also, it's kind of weird to be dick rotting a multi-millionaire Nepo baby, Flash wants what's best for me. He's trying to get me in Hassan's orbit to get me some of that clout. And then people accuse me of clout farming. And I'm I would have rather nobody brought up Hassan on my fucking chat. And I clipped it and put it into a video, and I shared it out because if you know me, it's kind of funny, but I probably don't come across very well if you don't know me, if you don't know my style. And I'm like, oh, you want Hassan here? I'll raid into Hassan. I don't know who his parents are, but I know he's Chank's fucking nephew, so he has some sort of a leg up, a family connection. Definitely has more connections than me. But I just I have this habit of taking people the wrong way. You say works for. Does he work harder than I do? Or was he just in the right place? I was dumb. People were telling in 2012 when I got kicked off of my college radio station, people were like, oh, you should start a podcast. You should start a podcast. Had I done that, had I listened to people, I'd probably be in a lot better situation than I am right now. Because I would have been in the right place at the right time and just lucky. I feel like that Hassan is a lot of luck, charisma. I don't have, people don't look at me and naturally like me. People look at me and naturally dislike me, and then I have to win them over. Whereas some people just have charisma that draws people in. If I had been in the right place at the right time, I might have a much bigger stream, but I also don't want a bigger stream. Income. I put in a shit ton of prep for this show. I do a really... that's what, and I know Flash didn't mean it this way, and I'm sorry, I have a bad habit of taking people the entirely wrong way, and people have reached out to me oh no, I didn't mean it this way, and what happened was that, it feels like when you're bringing up Hassan in my chat, you're saying that, oh, what Justin's talking about isn't good enough. Oh, Hassan's doing this, and it hurts my feelings, and I'm not in the best headspace right now. And that's not at all the way Flash meant it. And Flash has been one of my biggest supporters. So I feel bad that I went off. I haven't heard from Flash, has not responded back to me, so I really hope I didn't run you off, my friend. So that's what happened last night, and I wasn't feeling it. That just kind of set me off. Like it feels like you're going to like an Italian restaurant, and I'm working my ass off and coming in and be like, "Oh hey, did you see what they're doing at Fazoli's over there?" I have no feelings on Hassan whatsoever because I've never watched him. I don't watch other streamers. I don't like reaction content specifically. And then somebody accused me of ripping off Hassan, and I'm like, no, I'm ripping off Opie and Anthony and Daniel Tosh. That's who I'm ripping off. I can't even fucking rip off his songs. I've never watched him. It's not mine. And as I said, like, Majority Report is about the only other show that I watch that is politics oriented. Just because I don't like doing politics all the time. I get off this stream, I do cooking stuff. I do music. I'm a music geek. I do wrestling. I do a lot of wrestling. 50% of the time, I am watching wrestling-related content. Seriously, I love you guys. I love Flash, and I really hope I didn't piss him off because he's been a huge supporter, and I took it personally, and I shouldn't have. And that's a fault of mine, especially when I'm not high. And I'm not right now. I got high after the stream. I had some left, but I was waiting for after the stream to smoke. Oregon Gal, well, it's like Libertad said. Like fucking, like I rubbed them the wrong way the first time they watched me, and they stumbled across me months later. Like, hey, this is actually pretty cool. Like, I have to win people over. I don't just have that charisma that people come in. I had a friend. I'm waiting till after the stream. It does suck, but like I'm not in the best place right now, mentally, financially for sure. Because basically what happened is, remember back in December when I had to move out from the living conditions that I was in? I got on the website that I use to get work, and I decided, like, I've got all these messages I've sent to clients and people that never even actually hired me for anything. I've got all these old messages, so I made like a generic sales letter. Listed the kind of services I offer. Hey, it's coming up on the beginning of the year. It's a good time. And then I would just switch out the person's name. So I sent a message to all those people. Well, I got flagged on the a platform for spam. And I wasn't able to take new work for 6 months. That put me like mid-June before I was ever opened back up to be able to take new work. And the clients that I had, different things have happened. Things have changed. Like, I work for the Republican legal firm, but they're not really advocating for anything right now. They're in power. So work from them is pretty much dried up. I've had a couple other, like I worked for a logistics company, and they've seen like a 50% decrease. So like I haven't had any work from them, and I haven't been able to go find new work. So I've just been opened up for like 2 or 3 weeks, and I've applied, and usually it's a deluge, and people are like, yes, want me to work. But sometimes I'll probably see the fruits of my labor of applying, sending proposals and shit the past week or two. A week or two from now, or 3 weeks from now, people be like, hey, we want to reach out to you and do this. So like, Justin is barely scraping by, if you could even call it that right now. I am really fucking hard up. And I guess that part of the Give Sing Go that I created was kind of in hopes that, and I said $7,000, but like really like fucking $2,000 would set me straight. So that was like, yeah. So that's one of the reasons why I did that. A lot of people have sent me prayers. Ain't no right winger sending me money yet. So, and I hate asking people for money. Like shit, like I got evicted back during the end of COVID. And I had this show. I had a bit of an audience. I could have gone on Echoplex and be like, hey, stop me from getting evicted. But like, I wasn't going to do. Oh, shit. Oh, Oregon gal. Oh. That was not me asking for a handout. Thank you so much for giving out the gift subs. And I appreciate you doing that because like it helps keep people here in the stream. Thank you so much. Thank you guys for your support. I was not looking for anything, but like I was just telling you guys what's going on. I like being open and honest. That's one of the reasons why I've been on edge. I'm going, doing the news every day is taking a toll on my mental health. You know, it's not like we're just watching. Crime stories are one thing, but to see your country go fucking fascist and to see innocent people get detained by ICE, to see my trans homies are gonna hurt, my poor people in my area that voted overwhelmingly for Donald Trump are getting ready to get hurt with Medicaid cuts, with SNAP cuts, and fucking like it kills me. So I've not been in a good headspace. You know, it's hard to laugh at this shit. I try. Pot helps. And we've even got stupid shit to laugh at. Linda McMahon goes on Fox Business. California should model its educational standards after academic powerhouses like Alabama. No one has ever said that. And just out of the blue, I haven't been looking for it. Like, this 65, 70-year-old dude hit me up on Grindr and was like, hey, I'm a generous guy. You're blah, blah, blah. Like, I guess he wants to be my daddy or something. I'm considering it. He says he's got a cabin not far from me that he spends some time at. Like, he's not a bad looking guy. And I told him like what I'm going through and everything. He's like, oh no, don't worry about it. Daddy will take care of you. Aw, DJ Dub. Seriously, I love the fuck out of you. When my solid state drive, which is one of the reasons why you see the issue with my graphics and stuff, probably not responding as fast as they do. You can be my daddy. You tell me what you want. He has a shovel in the cabin. Run like hell. But DJ Dub offered to buy me a new solid state drive like that day. And like, thank you. Thank you so much. I did not take him up on that because like I don't need it. Like I didn't need it to continue. I mean, I'll tell you the same thing I'll tell him. Like, if you want me to put it in your ass, I guess I'm down for it. If you want to put it in my ass, okay. Sure. Oh God. Yes, be sure to wash your ass.
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Do try to harass Hassan with. I sent it to Hassan. I tagged Hassan. If you guys can get Hassan to react to that clip. That would be hilarious. Did the raid go through? Did it actually send you guys? Because I couldn't find anything. I couldn't see it. Like, it doesn't say it in my stream manager that I rated Hassan. Because I was trying to find it for the short TikTok clip. But yeah, I guess if he wants to be my sugar, because like he's not bad looking. Like I'm not like repulsed by him or anything. Like, I'd probably fuck him without money, but if he wants to offer me money to fuck him, okay. It seemed more like he just wants to, like, take care of me. And you know what, like, I was talking, did I say it on chat, or this might have been a conversation I had with maybe Curious or... So, philosophers. Throughout history, philosophy doesn't pay. The way these philosophers, like Marx, were able to sit back and just contemplate life and do their works is that they had a rich benefactor. Which means they had sugar daddies. Does it? They rich person didn't just give them money because they liked their philosophy. Maybe that was part of it. But they were probably throwing in some sexual favors too, weren't they? Weren't they? And to be fair to Linda McMahon, in terms of, like, the University of Alabama actually is an academic powerhouse. Auburn actually is a good, like, they rank highly but, like, in terms of grade school education, primary education, Alabama does not rank highly. A concubine. It sounds like I'm going to be the concubine. Concubine is like a slave woman, isn't it? Have I got the word wrong? A woman who cohabits with a man, often of higher social status, without being legally married to him. I'm looking to be the concubine. And like once again. It's like Nelly Furtado. Is it a joke I'm taking too far, or do I really like Nelly Furtado? Is GOP Mommy a joke I'm taking too far? Or would I really go out with Joni Ernst if she called me? And when I say the Nelly Furtado thing, for those that don't know, like, so like Sparkles would go into a store and she would come back and like I'd put the radio on Nelly Furtado. Like every time she would go to the bathroom and I'd make my Google play Nelly Furtado. And I was just like, it was just always the artist that popped up. I don't know if I actually like her or if I thought it was funny. Like, Nelly Furtado is playing. I know a lot of Nelly Furtado songs. So I'm wondering if it's not actually a joke. California should model its education. California ranks far higher than Alabama. Now, California is like in the teens, I want to say, for education. Not in the top 10. That shit like Maryland and Massachusetts are like the top ranking states. Connecticut are the top ranking states for education. Florida ranks higher than you would think. And once again, that's their university system. T-minus, welcome in. Also, I need to go apologize. I already apologized to Jason. I should apologize to producer Dave. I was pissed at Dave for coming in while we were watching Glastonbury. Kept bringing up goddamn conspiracy theory shit. Oh, hey, Chris Keys drinking piss over here. Like, dude, we're watching Glastonbury. Shut the fuck up. So I went in his chat and was like, hey, everybody, have you heard about what Hassan is doing? And Dave, like a fucking champ, just like made jokes about it. Let it roll right off. I love that dude. Yeah, Meatcake. See, like what he graciously. Ah, shit. Julie, welcome in. I'm sorry, like you were coming in as I was raiding out. If you're still wondering what just happened. Dave has composure. Dave is a very composed person. That's one of the reasons why he does better in the debates. Because he's so calm. And he'll just like, I don't care. Just like Sam Cedar against Tim Pool. Like, I don't care. That don't mean shit. Anyway, we've got news to talk about, unfortunately. Oh, so you know about the Hassan thing. I've been explaining the weird headspace I'm in and how like I took Flash completely wrong. I feel sorry if you guys see Flash somewhere else. Oh no, I'm not rating out right now. No. If you guys see Flash somewhere else, please tell him I'm sorry. I've sent him a message, but he hasn't responded to me yet. And like I feel horrible. I feel embarrassed. I'm embarrassed by the way I acted on Sunday. I'm embarrassed but hey, when you spend, goddamn, I saw my streaming report. Like, it was like 400 hours in the month of June. When you spend 400 hours on stream, like, you're bound to not have good moments. Especially when you're live, you're not highly curated. So my apologies. This is in Hawaii. This is at the Kaloe? I'm probably saying it wrong. This is the Kaloe volcano preparing to erupt. Sorry you didn't get to see the corpse flower I was going to show last night. Kilauea. Thank you, Julie. And I've been to Hawaii. I should have a better sense of being able to pronounce the words. I still said it wrong. Probably. But probably closer than the first time I butchered it. I was hoping we'd get somebody come by. Earlier, I saw... Do you remember Pentuple? Dude that called, like, he Discord in. We were on video with him. And he was trying to convince me not to vote for Harris and to vote for Trump. And it didn't go well for him. You guys remember, like, he just popped in and was like, oh, hey, can I try to convince you? And I'm like, sure, come on. And he was also a streamer and just... He's got me blocked on everything, but like his producer is this woman named Sadie Girl or some shit. And they were hosting one of those hangouts on Twitter. And there were like 5 of them in there, and I hopped in their hangout. And they're talking about how like they get to discriminate against Indian guys and black guys and blah, blah, blah. And I requested to speak. I hopped on, and I was like, "Oh, hey, all I see is right wingers." Blah, and like they didn't even let me get my point out. And that Sadie girl was like, "Oh no, cut him off, and like the hangout was like "Free Speech Zone" was the title of it. And I was like, wait a minute. You claim you're the free speech zone, but you're not even going to let me say anything before they kick me out. But one of the dudes in there was like, oh, hey, what, like, because I'd made a comment about come by my show. You can talk all you want to. And the dude was like, oh, I need to know what this is. I sent him the link. Come on by, my friend. Seriously, I am so tired of hearing all the arguments that right-wingers make. It's sheer projection. Virtue signaling, that's all they ever fucking do. They have no substance to their argument. Substance. Like it's a fucking Metal Gear game. They have no substance to their arguments. It's just virtue signaling to other people who are racist dipshits, pretty much. Because I would love to ask... If you come on here, perhaps you're watching right now, I would love to ask you. I'll pop into your hangout. Oh, there's like a fire truck outside of my house. Oh, they're across the street. It was storming like a motherfucker. I hope everybody is safe out there. There are tornado warnings all over this fucking country right now. I think I was under a severe thunderstorm warning. But there have been reports of tornadoes around this area. I forgot what I was. Oh, I was in there X space or whatever. And they're just talking about people they hate, you know. Oh, we want to be able to judge black people. We want to be able to judge Indian people. My politics is based on wanting to help people, wanting to provide. I want the government to provide services for people in need, especially because I'm poor. I'm from Appalachia. I'm a poor person from Appalachia. I've grown up around poor people my entire fucking life. I don't understand why your politics seem to be motivated by wanting to punish people you dislike. Oh shit! You're in Shasta. T- is in Shasta. Godspeed you, T-. I want to know what motivates people though. Like why do right-wingers seem so hell-bent on trying to hurt others? Shouldn't we all have the goal to try to have a government that works best for everyone? Because I would argue that a lot of the all the policies I advocate for would benefit right-wingers. So I don't understand the pathology there. And it may just be like I have empathy. And it's also it's kind of selfishness. I grew up fucking poor. I don't think anybody should suffer. I think people should have access. I don't get it. I could have wrote the real hillbilly elegy. You want to talk about growing up around drug addicts, and the true hillbilly elegy isn't, because the point of J.D. Vance's book, I've never read it, but from what I can tell, people say like the point of his book is that, you know, it's a culture in Appalachia, and they don't want to lift themselves up, and that's just not true. Appalachia has been exploited much. There's a lot of parallels between like Appalachia and Africa. Just the natural resources have been, any area that is rich with natural resources get exploited the hell out of them. And the people of Appalachia have been propagandized to no end. I grew up in the 90s, and everybody in my area was driving around with bumper stickers that said, friends in low places, and it had like a coal miner crawling with the miner's hat on, or coal, keep the lights on. Like it was a multi-million-dollar fucking ad campaign to convince people that, you know, hey, the coal industry is good. The coal industry has made everybody in the area better off. And I don't see it that way. I wrote an op-ed for my local newspaper. Like, I cry every time I go home to my hometown of Pikeville, Kentucky. And I drive in, and, like, Appalachia is gorgeous, if you guys have never been here. But you drive into Pikeville, Kentucky, and it is nothing but strip-topped mountains covered in gravel and evergreen trees. Because you can't grow... Once a mountain has been stripped, you can't grow natural greenery there anymore. The only thing that will grow is evergreen trees. So you go in, and it's just gravel and evergreen trees all over the mountains. And these people are sitting on their literally on their high horse. You will see these gigantic houses built on stilts on the side of mountains, overlooking shanty towns of trailers, and it breaks my fucking heart. Oh yeah, sports cards. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Clean coal. That was the buzzword all through, like, maybe not the 90s, probably the early 2000s. And all through the 2000s when I was doing news in Pikeville. Clean coal, that was the future. Carbon carbon sequestration. Did I get it right? Something like that. Where like you could basically burn coal, but then put the byproduct down in the ground. Not feasible, by the way. I'm sorry, I'm ranting. It says sequestration. Thank you. Thank you, Ducky. Also, welcome in. Welcome in, Sports Cards. T-minus, I don't know if I told you good evening. Libertad, did I tell you good evening? Love you guys. Thank you for being here. Let's do some news. I'm sorry, I've been ranting, just babbling on and on and on. Let's start off with this tonight. Let's start off with Kash Patel, Dan Bongino. We've got a former FBI director, or former FBI agent, talking about his thoughts on Kash Patel and Dan Bongino.
Perceived enemies of the Trump administration who are facing retribution. It's also friends of those so-called enemies as well. We first learned how friends of Trump critics were targeted in the purges underway at the FBI last month when the New York Times reported that a top deputy at Norfolk's field office, Michael Feinberg, was threatened with investigation and demotion because of his friendship with former FBI counterintelligence agent Pete Strzok. Feinberg resigned with the understanding that the retaliation he faced meant his career as he knew it, as he'd worked to create it at the FBI, was over. Now Feinberg is speaking out publicly about the extraordinary nature of his ouster and is warning that the purge of career employees at the FBI is even worse than what has been publicly reported. He writes in a chilling new piece detailing the circumstances of his resignation, how he knew once Dan Bongino learned of his friendship with Pete Strzok, everything changed. Quote, prior to that day, I had never faced any sort of disciplinary review or investigation. And to be clear, I was not accused of violating any rules or regulations this time either, nor had any of my cases fallen short of institutional standards. My only
Textillion, welcome in, and goddamn, I am so fucking tired of hearing about Russia in 2016. Oh my God, that's what when I debated that stupid ass Rob Noer that time. This is what he wanted to talk about. And at the time, what was the investigation, that one dude with the white goatee, what was his fucking name? Durham. The Durham investigation was going on. So like he kept, the Durham investigation is going to reveal everything and blah 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 blah. And it ended up that the only guy that was prosecuted was the agent that like changed the heading of an email or something. And the judge said, I believe he just was saving himself time and there was no malice in it. And the warrant would have still been valid. That's what came of the Durham investigation.
Supposed sin was a long-standing friendship with an individual who appeared on Kash Patel's enemies list and against whom Dan Bongino had railed publicly. Yet rules turned out not to matter much, and so that weekend, Bongino informed my special agent in charge, who in turn informed me that he was halting and actually reversing my professional advancement. Feinberg adds on the nature of his friendship with Pete Strzok this, quote, if the fact that I sang along to Every Day is Like Sunday while he stood next to me at a Morrissey concert actually represents an imminent danger to the Bureau's integrity.
Wait, these motherfuckers actually got to go to a Morrissey concert? You mean the concert happened? I think that's the bigger news coming out of this. That they were actually able to see Morrissey live.
Yet rules turned out not to matter much. And so that weekend, Bongino informed my special agent in charge, who in turn informed me that he was halting and actually reversing my professional advancement. Feinberg adds on the nature of his friendship with Pete Strzok this, quote, if the fact that I sang along to Every Day is Like Sunday while he stood next to me at a Morrissey concert actually represents an imminent danger to the Bureau's integrity, then for the first time in nearly half century on this earth, I'm truly at a loss for words. And if there are any questions as to whether or not the people who are being ousted at the FBI are the selfless public servants who should fill the nation's top law enforcement agency, here's this from Feinberg's resignation letter. Quote,
I love that emote, and it even kind of looks like Maynard.
I love my country and our Constitution with a fervor that mere language will not allow me to articulate. And it pains me that my profession will no longer entail being their servant. As you know, my wife and I are expecting our first child this summer, and this decision will entail no small degree of hardship for us. But as our organization began to decay, I made a vow that I would comport myself in a manner that would allow me to look my son in the eye as I raised him. It is now apparent that I can no longer both fulfill that vow and continue working.
Shelley, welcome in.
Leadership. That is where we start the hour with former Assistant Special Agent in charge at the FBI, Michael Feinberg. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for inviting me.
What up, Feinberg?
Your piece stopped me in my tracks. I read the whole thing, which took a bit, but it was the first.
Yeah, he looks like he'd be a Morrissey fan.
Happening at the FBI, and I wonder if you can just share with our viewers what happened to you at Kash Patel's FBI.
Yeah, thank you for the kind words about the piece. It was actually rather difficult to write because the entire situation, as hopefully the tenor of the excerpt you just read signifies, was pretty heartbreaking. I've been an apolitical civil servant my entire career. I've had some notable public successes countering the intelligence services of the Chinese government. I've had even more private successes, which remain classified. And there's never been a complaint or criticism about the quality of my work or my professional comportment. So it was a little surprising.
Comportment is a funny word.
Saturday in May, when I found out that Bongino, the deputy director of the FBI, had discovered I was friends with a former executive who is a noted and admittedly controversial figure, but our friendship is entirely social in nature. And that relationship was enough to put a target on my back that Bongino made very clear was going to end my career.
How do you think, or do you know how he came to know that you're friends with Pete Strzok?
I haven't the slightest idea. My friendship with Pete was not a secret. At the same time, I never bragged about it. I know he is a very controversial figure. But, you know, there's a few of us, probably more than a few, who remain in touch with him. You know, before he became a public figure.
I still don't even understand what's so controversial about him.
Counterintelligence official, and there were a lot of us who got to know him and became friends.
What is it like working for Kash Patel and Dan Bongino?
So I want to be very clear.
I don't think we're learning anything from this. We got all we needed from the story. Funny you should bring up Aussie Libertad. Next week, because Justin hasn't been in a good headspace, we're taking a week off. Not from streaming. We're going to be on streaming. We're going to take a week off from doing news. And we're going to do fun stuff. I'm going to take Sunday night off. On Monday, we're going to come on at 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 2 p.m. Eastern Time on Monday, the Back to the Beginning Ozzy Osbourne farewell concert. That's what we're going to watch. It's going to be an all-day live music Monday. We're going to screw the news for a week, unless something really big happens, and then I'll troll patrol with you guys. So, but I'll have a list of what all we're doing for the week. We're going to do like summer vacation stuff. We're going to break out Tiny Toons, how I spent my summer vacation, the Brady Bunch going to Hawaii, shit like that. I'll have a list in the Discord. I'll try to promote it on tomorrow night. Tomorrow night's the last Troll Patrol. So you guys know what to expect. But Monday night, or Monday day, we're going to be doing the Ozzy Osbourne Back to the Beginning concert. Ozzy was Ozzy. The band was fucking, because I've already seen the Black Sabbath set. I've watched certain sets throughout the concert because Curiouser wanted to watch them. So I've already seen Black Sabbath set, and they were fucking awesome. I can go ahead, fucking awesome. The band was awesome. might feel a little sad for Ozzy or not, because, you know, it's what to expect with Ozzy. He seems pretty frail and doesn't exactly have he never really had the chops. We watched an Ozzy concert from 25 years ago, and the set I watched the other night wasn't much different. But if you have been looking forward to it because it's on pay-per-view, the VOD will not exist. You'll not see it. It's only that one time. Tune in on Monday afternoon. And we will watch the entire fucking concert. Pantera, Metallica, Guns N' Roses, Tool's first ever live recorded set, and then multiple what they call super groups, and that was the most fun. Curious and I only watched one of them, but they switched out, like Sammy Hagar came out and sung, Steven Tyler came out and sung, Papa Emeritus came out. And they were switching off guitar players. Ron Wood from the Rolling Stones came out. Tom Morello was out there pretty much the whole time. Chad Smith from the Red Hot Chili Peppers was playing the drums for the first part, and then Travis Barker? The one that's married to... Because, like, Curious was like, oh, I hate the Kardashians. And then he took over, like... It's awesome. You guys are gonna fucking love this. Please come watch it with me. I am going to music nerd the fucking hell up on Monday. I can't wait to watch the whole thing with you guys. But yeah, Curious and I, we watched Pantera. We watched that one super group. And there's like 2 other super groups. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what the other super groups were like. So I'm stoked, and I'm thankfully Curious and I watched a couple of sets. I can put it away. I can not watch it because I've been dying to watch the whole thing. I got a little taste of it. I can hold off until Monday. It's like 10 and a half hours long, but there's like recaps. There's they re-show a couple of things, so like we can skip some stuff. But be prepared for a whole fucking awesome day of music. But Ozzy, just be prepared. Ozzy is not all there. Kind of like Joe Biden. Joe Biden apparently was not all there in the White House over that last term. His doctor apparently testified in front of the House Oversight Committee today, and the right is going nuts over this because he didn't actually testify.
Dr. O'Connor, before we begin, I would like to go over the ground rules for this deposition. The committee will conduct today's deposition in accordance with the House of Representatives regulations for the use of deposition authority, which were furnished to your counsel. This regulation is incorporated into the rules of the Committee on Oversight and Government Reform at Rule 15, which was also furnished to your counsel. The questioning will proceed in rounds. The majority will ask questions for an hour, and then the minority will have an opportunity to ask questions for an hour if they choose. There will be one staff counsel per side asking the questions during each round. To the extent members have questions for the witness, they will be propounded during their side's respective rounds. Do you understand?
On the advice of counsel, I must respectfully decline to answer based on the physician-patient privilege and reliance on my right under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. I am not a lawyer, and I must follow my lawyer's advice in this matter.
So, gentlemen, we intend to assert.
So now the Republicans have been like, ooh, he pleaded the Fifth. See, there's a cover-up. There's a cover-up.
Both privileges with regard to any questions that would be asked at this deposition. And Dr. O'Connor will not answer any questions.
Can we go off the record for 1 second?
He was confronted by... Yeah, they're looking into Biden's sanity. Oh, yeah, pleading the Fifth doesn't mean that you're guilty. And we should always... Especially, the reason he probably pled the Fifth is because the right wing is out to do whatever the fuck they want. And he doesn't want anything he says to be used against him. Even if it was... honest. Yeah, Trump has pleaded the Fifth many times. He was confronted by reporters when he was leaving. The reporters didn't really ask him anything, did they?
No comments to press. No comments to press.
Did you plead the fifth?
When I didn't even think about it, when I saw the story earlier, he's a doctor. He's got not attorney-client, doctor privilege. Like, he's not allowed to divulge any of the shit they're asking for anyway. So, I mean, I break the law on stream all the fucking time. Now, which clip of Trump am I going to play to be like, they're investigating Biden's mental acuity? Trump was at the White House today hosting African leaders, asked the president of Liberia, apparently did not get a briefing on what Liberia is, the etymology of how Liberia came into existence. For those who are unaware, it was a country founded by freed slaves from the United States. So their official language is English.
Resources in our sea waters, so lots of fishing and whatnot. I don't want to spend too much time on this.
Oh, hold on. This is the wrong clip.
Very much. I appreciate it. Maybe we're going to have to go a little bit quicker than this because we have a whole schedule. If I could just say your name and your country would be great. Thank you, please.
Muito obrigado, Senhor Presidente Trump.
Resources in our
I grabbed the wrong clip. My apologies.
fishing and whatnot. I don't.
But he wanted to wrap it up there real fast. Had such a good setup for it too. When speaking to the president of Liberia, Trump said this.
Talking to you as we have the meal. Do you want to ask any questions, please? Where's my reporter from Africa? There you are. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. President.
Very famous in Africa. Okay?
Okay, one, he seems really subdued here. Have you guys noticed that? I was wondering what was wrong with his ear, but that's probably probably like one of those things. They're doing a translation. It's like an earpiece he's getting a translation in.
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Miss, I have one question for the African presidents and one question for President Trump. As you
Talking to you as we have the meal. Do you want to ask any questions, please? Where's my reporter from Africa? There you are. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you, Mr. President.
Very famous in Africa. Okay?
Thank you, thank you. Thank you. Miss, I have one question for the African presidents and one question for President Trump.
I'm sorry, I still didn't get the right clip. I didn't prepare for the show tonight because it was storming, so I couldn't turn my computer on. I was going to prepare. The storms didn't clear up until about 7:30, so.
Well, thank you. It's such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where were you educated? Where?
Yes, sir.
In Liberia.
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
Very
and
good,
they,
sir. Thank you.
well, thank you.
You probably can't speak as good English as he can. They were there talking about tariffs. Talking about tariffs today. By the way, he issued I had the list. I had the list of all the countries he he threw tariffs at, including apparently Brazil, throwing a 50% tariff at Brazil because he's upset that the justice system is prosecuting Bolsonaro for trying to steal the election.
There's a lot of anger on your continent, and we've been able to solve a lot of it. My administration is committed to strengthening our friendships in Africa through economic development efforts that benefit both the United States and our partners. And we're shifting from AID to trade. We had AID, or aid as we sometimes call it, right to trade, and trade seems to be a foundation.
This is from earlier today, Julie.
Disputes. We have closed the USAID group to eliminate waste, fraud, and abuse, which was tremendous waste, fraud, and abuse. And we're working tirelessly to forge new economic opportunities involving both the United States and many African nations. There's great economic potential in Africa, like few other places in many ways. In the long run, this will be far more effective and sustainable and beneficial than anything else that we can be doing together.
So perhaps an investment could be made in a golf course in Senegal. It would just be 6 hours by flight from New York.
Oh my God! Oh, we'll put a golf course in Senegal. This is how we're going to bribe you right in front of the faces of the American people.
From Miami, from Europe, or from the Gulf, and that would be an opportunity for you to show off your skills.
Liberia is a longtime friend of the United States, and we believe in your policy of making America great again, and we just want to thank you so much for this opportunity.
Well, thank you, and such good English, such beautiful. Where did you learn to speak so beautifully? Where
Matty B, welcome in.
Yes, sir.
In Liberia?
Yes, sir.
Well, that's very interesting. It's beautiful English.
Sure.
I have people at this table can't speak nearly as well.
I'm glad the AP played the clip that I struggled to find there. God damn. So 50% tariff on Brazil, also targeting Brunei, Libya, Moldova, and I think I saw like we imposed tariffs on Laos. Senate Majority Leader Tom Thune asked about Trump threatening tariffs on especially people like our allies, like Japan, South Korea.
Japan and South Korea are two of our most important security and trade partners. In fact, we have trade agreements with both of them in technology and agriculture. Why does it make sense to threaten these two important allies with a 25% tariff?
Well, I mean, I think we've made great headway. I was in both Japan and South Korea last August with Bill Hagerty, who was the ambassador to Japan.
Fuck Bill Hagerty.
First Trump administration. And there were a lot of conversations around creating a trilateral trade agreement where our countries would all have an open and fair trading process. I think notwithstanding the progress that we've made, and I can speak from personal experience, they've opened up, Japan has, in the last few years to American beef, which is something that previously we'd had a lot of issues with regard to tariffs. So I'm hoping that the administration, by getting Japan and South Korea to the table, can create the kind of trading relationship that will be economically beneficial not only to the United States, but to Japan and South Korea, and that will further isolate China. And I think when there are good, strong economic relationships, it also has the tangential benefit of strengthening national security. And we have a lot of interests, a lot at stake in that region of the world. So I hope as the administration works through this, the conversations that they're having with Japan and South Korea, that the ultimate end state will be an agreement that opens up trade among our nations and creates that kind of a trilateral trading relationship.
Someone on Twitter said he put tariffs on everybody except Epstein Island. I feel like I got an Epstein clip. Oh, yes, here we go. Also, I need to correct myself. I kept talking about Pam Bondi making the comment about the client list. It was Elena Haba. I was confusing Bondi with Elena Haba.
Work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings.
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America, and I will do everything, if confirmed as FBI director, to make sure the American public knows the full weight of what happened in the past.
Just last week, the president's excellent pick for FBI Director Kash Patel vowed to work with me in releasing the Epstein records and breaking apart the trafficking rings that harm countless women and children across our country.
AG Bondi and Director Patel are hard at work on getting all of these Epstein files. And as you know, this is an issue I first talked about in 2019. We have been on this because it is imperative that we break apart these human trafficking rings, sex trafficking rings, and we know Jeffrey Epstein was a part of this.
What we know is that this was a large network of high-profile, high-dollar predators who abused untold numbers of my...
High-profile, high-dollar predators
has been prosecuted for these crimes, and that is Ghislaine Maxwell. You know, for the last several weeks, I've been trying to figure out and to subpoena the records for Jeffrey Epstein's plane, to find out who was on that plane.
Are you still...
Honey, did you know that Trump flew on his plane? Trump used his plane throughout the campaign.
Talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable.
I am glad that this issue seems to indeed be tearing MAGA apart. They seem pretty pissed off about it. Here's Patrick Bet-David on Fox News. I think this was last night.
There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man.
Oh, we know you dipshit.
The biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far, and here's the reason why. If you remember the president winning,
it's not a fumble, Patrick Bet-David. You are so stupid. He is covering up the fact that he is a part of it. He ran for president to make sure that all his legal troubles went away, and your dumbass supported him 3 times. Idiot.
He had a conversation with Fox News, the great Rachel Campos Duffy, and she asked
the great
president. 9/11, yes. John F. Kennedy.
Though I will say, if she wants to be my GOP mommy, I'll call Rachel Campos Duffy great.
Yes. Epstein, he didn't say yes. He was a little bit hesitant of bringing that information out. Why? So why does his leadership team go out there and are like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash? And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this? Why are you not having an emergency meeting together to conversate and say, hey, we're going to be on the same page with messaging on this. All you have to do is send a message to everybody, say, God, let's have a conference call. Here's what we're going to be saying about this, because this was a very important issue to not 80% of the voters that voted for President Trump, but I think 20% of the voters wanted to know what's going to happen with Epstein, and it's a big letdown. Normally when I come, I give a very positive message. My only suggestion, no more fumbles. You're having the greatest start ever as a president. Man. There's going to be Nobel Prize, but a lot more than that. I believe he has a shot at going one of the greatest presidents of all time and competing for some of the top 5 type of lists.
He's Iranian, T-minus. He is Iranian. And as I understand it, Netanyahu has indeed submitted Trump's name for the Nobel Prize.
But we have to have an emergency meeting and saying collectively, no more fumbles.
I had an Iranian friend, and Iranians are he played bluegrass. He fled Iran. He was a bluegrass player and came to America. And Probably just doxed him, gave him away to who it is. Because there's probably not very many Iranian bluegrass players in the country. And like, I really enjoy. I had him on my show multiple times when I was in college, but when we got to 2016, he seemed like he lost his fucking mind. And he kept talking about Marxism and communists. And he's like, I fled Iran. I'm like, Iran is not communist, dude. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? There's nothing Marxist about Iran's theocracy. And he just, like, incredibly propagandized, so I should not paint with a broad brush because, oh God, what was her name? I had her on the show. I had her on the Troll Patrol like 3 years ago. She was Iranian. Matt, welcome in. They have elections, but the president doesn't really run things. The theocratic regime does. It's one of those things. Absolutely, Julie. That's one of the reasons why the right hates colleges, because you go to college and you meet people from all walks of life, and you're not a bigot anymore. And then you come back and lecture your parents about how they're being bigoted and how they got history wrong, and they hate that. Let's continue watching the MAGA meltdown.
I was at the White House that day when Pam Bondi gave out those white binders. I was one of
Oh yeah, we saw you with your binder.
the ones who received that binder. So when you say before I'm invested in this, yeah, I am invested in this because what she did made me look like I was adding to some kind of clickbait weirdo.
You got played.
People that watch me know I'm very prudent. I don't engage in hot takes. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt. You give the benefit of the doubt to people on your own side. I thought, okay, I don't know why she gave us those binders.
Meat Cakes, I watched the clip of Sauger and Tucker. And, like, they threw the break, because it was just the clip. They threw the break. They're like, we'll be back with Liz Wheeler. And I'm like, my God, Liz Wheeler. Because I hate Sauger with a burning fucking passion. And I wanted to see what he had to say on Tucker. And then Tucker is like, well, I think it's intelligence services, blah, 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 blah. And they kind of blew off the idea that Trump was involved. I'm like, you motherfuckers, Trump is clearly involved. Trump is clearly involved. But they threw it back, and Sauger's there with, was it Ryan? I think it was Sauger and Ryan. And Sauger's like, well, after the way Trump behaved in the White House, I'm kind of starting to think that maybe his first point has some validity. And I'm like, goddamn right, Sauger. Of course it does. You idiot.
I was at the White House that day when Pam Bondi gave out those white binders. I was one of the ones who received that binder. So when you say before I'm invested in this, yeah, I am invested in this because what she did made me look like I was adding to some kind of
Bill for it again award.
Influencer thing online, which I don't do. People that watch me know I'm very prudent. I don't engage in hot takes. And I gave her the benefit of the doubt. You give the benefit of the doubt to people on your own side. I thought, okay, I don't know why she gave us those binders if she didn't have good stuff in those binders, but she said there was another story. A whistleblower told her there were truckloads of documents. Hopefully she'll produce. And I gave her time. I was patient. I gave her the benefit of the doubt. But here's the thing, Chris. That day in the White House, Pam Bondi bragged about making that cover sheet on that binder that you're showing on the screen. That cover sheet that reads the most transparent administration in history. Epstein Files Phase 1. She told us she made that. She printed it. She put it in that binder. How can you square that behavior with what she posted on the Department of Justice website on Sunday saying, actually, there's nothing here?
I wonder how long Bondi lasts now. Like, I'm serious. Like, who could have known? Who could have known? You voted for a pedophile con man. I've been calling him a pedophile con man since 2015. I'm glad you all really just found out now. 10 years fucking later. Good job.
Do you think we're stupid? You think we're fools?
Sauger having a hard time defending the right because Sauger put himself in a very bad spot where he's around people that will challenge him. I tried to get there is a radio host in Alabama. His name is Dale Jackson. I did some work for him when I lived in Alabama. Clearly. This was him yesterday. What's he talking about? I would love to have him. Okay, here's the
Did you know it is Big 12 meeting?
this guy.
No.
It's a sports update.
Looks like it is. I didn't even know the Big 12 was still a...
So I did some production for him because this is a radio personality. He is the program director for the radio station, or was at the time. And I did some production work for him. He didn't know how to run a board. He didn't know how to fucking edit a clip. He didn't know jack shit. So he had me working for him doing some production. And he had a political show on the TV station I worked for. That's how I met him. Ooh. Remind me to finish telling that story.
Yo, oh shit.
Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on?
Hey, good afternoon. Am I speaking with JustinFREAKIN?
I am JustinFREAKIN. How are you?
Wonderful. My name is Kevin, and I'm calling on behalf of Google Support and Security Team. How you doing today?
All right, Kevin, you owe me $3,000.
You fucking nigger.
Oh my God! Again? Seriously? That's what you?
Do you think we're stupid?
Yes, they're
You think we're
stupid.
fools?
They're fools. Yeah, like how Ducky's like, no slurs, please. That's the thing that they. It's seriously boring. Also, if you're gonna do that shit, you probably shouldn't leave your number unblocked. Just throwing that out there for you. I could call you. Bro, I'm not gonna answer it again. Like, if you're just gonna do that, I can't do it. Why? Why would you do that to me? I'm happy to have a conversation with you. I'm not gonna dox anybody. I'm not gonna put their number on screen. Though, do that kind of shit I probably should. I'm not gonna do that. I have never used somebody's phone number. If they didn't block their number or whatever, I've never used it to try to like get back at them or something. I'm not that kind of a person. But anyway, Del Jackson over here.
thing, but apparently it is, and they are back and better than ever.
So I used to, his big claim to fame was that he went and laid in the middle of the road, something about healthcare, about Obamacare. He laid in the middle of the road for some reason. I don't even remember what the point was. But he had a political show on Way 31 was the TV station I worked for. And it would air on like Sundays. We'd tape it on Thursdays. He had a professor from the local college. And he even told me this. He's like, oh, he wants to be in the Rotary Club. You know, he's blah, blah, blah. He's not going to challenge me. So he had to have a professor come on. It was basically like his Sean Combs back when, or not Sean Combs, Alan Combs to Sean Hannity. Like a whipping boy. But then once they would finish filming the show, or I was usually the camera person, floor director. Once we'd finish doing the show, I would argue all his points that he made on the show. And people from the TV station would come in and watch me argue with him. And I'm like, dude, do you not see? This is where it's at. You and I, if you can do you and I together, if you can take it, me coming at you, without, getting butthurt or anything, this is what, because he was trying his best. He was trying his best to become that right-wing influencer. He was on CNN and Fox a couple of different times around that time period. Like Jeff Sessions endorsed Trump, and CNN had Del Jackson on about it. And I'm like, dude, we could do like an actual show, and people would love that shit. And he wouldn't do it. He would not do it because he didn't want to be challenged. He didn't want to be put in the position that Sauger is in, that like somebody is smart and challenging you, and you're going to have to fight back. Because I didn't give a shit if he came at me with everything he had. I'm like, dude, come at me. Take shots at me. I don't care. Be great fucking television. Be great radio. But he couldn't fucking do it. Samson, welcome in. Fucking fuck. How you gonna fucking do this to me? Boo! But this was 2016, 2017. Probably 2017. When I'm like pitching this to him and I'm like, we would take off online and we would have. Because that would have been Sauger and Crystal before Sauger and Crystal. I absolutely believe that he and I would be like hosting a big show on YouTube right now. But no. He's got me blocked on Twitter because I just kept shooting down his nonsense. There we go. Had to censor myself. He's a big tough guy. He liked to work out and everything. That's one of the craziest things. I was riding with him in the car one time, and he was like, Rachel Maddow lost 20 pounds when she got hired on MSNBC. And I was like, dude, if I got hired on a national television show, I'd probably drop 20 pounds right now. What? Like, why? Because he was trying to like say that she was fake. And I'm like, I don't get it. But he's a big tough guy, and he used to work out all the time. So I'm sure he's probably happy that Trump is going to host a UFC fight on the lawn of the White House.
I'm in the tough guy business, and this man is the toughest, most
tough guy
that I've ever met in my life.
That was UFC boss Dana White at last year's Republican National Convention. President Trump, it took a while for this to develop, but it really has taken on kind of a life of its own, tied his political brand to the organization that is the UFC and to a certain extent the WWE and its macho reputation. Trump is a mainstay at matches and last week announced plans, we're not sure how serious he was, but he announced them anyway, to host a UFC match at the White House to celebrate America's 250th birthday on July 4th, 2026. Already, some of the sport's biggest figures, like Conor McGregor and John,
I think he's serious,
who are inactive or retired.
That's what we watched the Capitol 4th celebration over the weekend. Was it Saturday? Yeah, it was Saturday. I have a feeling next year, because that was planned last year. That was PBS's Capitol 4th with Carlton, and yeah, it was kind of Trumpy. The Beach Boys are one of the big performers and everything. I have a feeling next year's isn't going to look anything like that.
Are hinting at a return just for this particular event. Ben Folks joins me now. He covers the UFC.
Wait a minute. Are we going to get Conor McGregor versus John Jones? I'd like to see that because I think Conor McGregor would get the crap beat out of him.
Yahoo Sports and the combat sports media company Uncrowned. Ben, thanks so much for making time for me. I appreciate this. Let's start with this thing that President Trump talked about last week. A UFC event, I imagine, on the South Lawn of the White House. What might that look like?
Well, we've seen MMA events on unconventional grounds before, never quite like this. Strikeforce, another now defunct MMA organization, once ran an event at the Playboy Mansion. So it's not as if that kind of thing is completely unprecedented. However, you'd have to imagine audience setup, security, all that kind of stuff would be completely different for something like this. The thing that is not so different is that the UFC is already very comfortable spotlighting Donald Trump when he shows up to these events, especially the numbered pay-per-views that he's been a fixture at recently. I
used to like UFC.
And so it seems the UFC would be pretty comfortable doing something like that. All Donald Trump had to do was kind of speak it out loud, and the UFC seemed like they were eager to jump it to make it a reality. It's just exactly what it would look like is a big question mark at this point.
And Ben, this is, to put it mildly, not exactly my world, but I've been told by people whose world it is that since the president talked about this in Des Moines, it has sort of taken on an extra layer of momentum. People are getting kind of jacked up about this, even though it's a year out.
Well, I think that the fight crowd loves novelty. It loves anything that feels like we're doing something new.
I loved Anderson Silva.
You have to realize that
also a big George St. Pierre fan.
UFC, its audience, its fighters are a lot more pro-Trump than you see in a lot of other pro sports. I mean, Donald Trump, if he goes right now to, even in his hometown, New York City, if he goes to a Yankees game, if he goes to a Knicks game, he's going to
get booed.
They show him up on the screen. And that's not at all the case at the UFC. It's one of the reasons he seems to really like the UFC and going and appearing at those events is because the crowd there is very excited to see him. The fighters are almost unanimously really happy to see him. He gets to kind of have a love fest sort of.
Well, yeah, people that get punched in the head for a living think Trump is a good president. This guy's got Hogan and the Ultimate Warrior as like a water painting behind him. This is cool.
When he goes to the UFC that it doesn't get a lot of other places. And the UFC has really gone all in on that. Like during those events, when he's sitting there, there is a dedicated Trump cam. Somebody will knock somebody else out. And instead of cutting, to that fighter's corner celebrating or following that fighter around the cage as he's...
There's no list of slurs, Julie. Are you getting auto-modded? Is that what it is? Am I not paying attention? I mean, like, don't drop any N-bombs or, like, anything that's going to get me banned from Twitch. Other than that, I don't give a shit. By the way, somebody said spurging out. I accused somebody of spurging out, and they were like, well, that's ableist language. I'm like, huh? They're like, yeah, it's about Asperger's. I had no idea that's where it came from. Don't know how I feel about it because isn't Asperger's ableist language in and of itself? So, sorry if I offended anybody. Silent, welcome in.
Celebrating. They'll cut to Donald Trump just to show his reaction to a knockout. So the UFC is really, really spotlighting him there, and he seems to have found like a comfortable home there.
And Ben,
yes, happy Disability Pride Month.
This is not our world. Talk to us about the UFC scope, the money, the ratings, the global imprint.
The global imprint actually is very interesting, especially as it relates to how firmly the UFC has attached itself to Trump. Because the UFC draws fighters and viewers from all over the globe, a lot more than most other major sports in America. You look at the NFL, and it's almost entirely Americans. You look at Major League Baseball, it's from a relatively small selection of countries. The UFC has fighters from almost everywhere. And right now, in fact, you look at the list of UFC male champions, they don't have a single American on there. It's all fighters from other places. And so that is an interesting aspect as far as how it plays with Trump, who is not...
Needs rewinding. What'd I say? Oh, Julie, thank you for the bids. I didn't even see it. What did I say to set off the clock? I need a ruling.
In the world, but the UFC, it has kind of a niche audience, but a very dedicated audience. It's known for an audience that will follow it almost anywhere, but also it's still not on a level of viewership with something like the NFL, Major League Baseball, the NBA. It does have just a hardcore, very dedicated fan base. But the extent to which the UFC has made Trump a focal point at these events, it has alienated portions of the audience. I hear it all the time from listeners to my podcast, from readers of mine who write in and say, it does suck. The extent to which they're shoving, the MAGA movement down our throats every time when I'm just trying to watch some fights. I think the UFC has done the math on it.
Shoving it down your throat, you say?
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Really? right in front of Rihanna and her fish. How you gonna do that?
Decided, you know what we get in terms of viewers who do like it, and in terms of the various ways we're able to translate being a pro-MAGA brand into money from sponsors, that's worth losing some viewers who don't like it.
Ben Folks, thanks for walking me through all this. Not my world, but it's definitely yours.
Ben Folds definitely has changed over the years. I don't remember him looking like that. Also happening in Trump world. This is amazing. So colleges have to be incredibly political neutral, or at least in favor of. I'm sorry, Julia. I may be able to scrape up a bowl here after I get off stream. I don't have any to smoke. That's probably part of my problem why I've gone off and spurged out a couple times this week. I'm sorry. Cancel Justin. If you guys tell me it's offensive, I'll stop using it. Maddie B, give me a ruling on that one. Yeah, churches no longer. Oh, the vacation is next week, Silent. We're doing vacation next week. I'm going to take Sunday off. Monday is going to be Live Music Monday. We're going to watch the Back to the Beginning Ozzy concert. I'll have a schedule for you of all the stuff we're going to watch next week. We're going to take a vacation from the news, but not from streaming. We're going to watch fun stuff all week next week. Colleges have to be politically neutral, but churches do not.
A lot of people that came into the country that shouldn't be here.
Mr. President?
Yes, please.
So two questions, one on tariffs, the other on the IRS.
Yeah.
On tariffs, China is reportedly softening their impact on U.S. tariffs in Africa, announcing last month that they would halt charges on imports for nearly all of its African partners.
Good.
Does this move by China influence your thinking, your approach to tariffs on the continent?
Well, we treat Africa great in many different ways, including with tariffs. But
Matt, you bring up a very good point. But that is a private college.
Tariffs.
They don't have funding that Trump can use to blackmail them or extort them into doing what he wants.
And they're going to be dropping those tariffs. They've already informed me they're going to be dropping those tariffs. But we treat Africa far better than China or anybody else, anyplace else. Yeah.
And on the IRS says that churches can now endorse political candidates. What's your reaction to this, and how do you expect this to influence some of the work that's afoot on the continent? There's a lot of American churches that are missionaries doing missionary work on the continent. Do you support that?
I love the fact that churches can endorse a political candidate. I think so, because we have a lot of respect for the people that
they should pay taxes then.
Pastors and the ministers and the rabbis and the all different leaders of all different religions, and people respect those people. And I think there's nothing wrong. You know, it was a very big penalty if that took place just a little while ago. They had a thing called the Johnson Act, and it was a very big penalty. I think it's great if a pastor, minister, priest, rabbi, and we could very much go into your religion, by the way, which is something that people are having great respect for throughout the world. If somebody
what religion
of faith wants to endorse, I think it's something that I'd like to hear, and I can guarantee you, the people that they're with every Saturday or Sunday.
I have a feeling churches that endorsed Harris, had there been churches that endorsed Harris, I have a feeling you'd have a real problem with them, wouldn't you?
Day, or whatever it is they're with, they want to hear from these people, and it was a very severe penalty. Those people were not allowed to speak up. Now they're allowed to speak up. No, I think it's terrific.
Mr. President,
I'm sure, had a church endorsed Harris, he would be throwing a complete crap fit over it. Do you think we just fell from a coconut tree?
You think you just fell out of a coconut tree?
Great respect for pastors who endorse political candidates. Maybe like this pastor who endorsed Donald Trump. Robert Morris, former Texas megachurch pastor and Trump advisor, indicted for child sex crimes. So this is the kind of guy that's going to be endorsing political candidates from the pulpit. Robert Morris, the Dallas area megachurch pastor who resigned last year amid sexual abuse allegations, has been indicted in Oklahoma for child sex crimes that date back to the 1980s. Morris is a former spiritual advisor to President Donald Trump, and Gateway, one of the nation's largest megachurches, has been particularly active in politics. In 2020, Trump held a roundtable on transition to greatness that was attended by then U.S. Attorney General William Barr and other prominent Republicans. Morris faces 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child, the Oklahoma Attorney General's office said in a Wednesday evening press release. The indictment comes less than a year after Morris resigned from Gateway Church in South Lake after an adult woman, Cindy Clemshire, said Morris repeatedly sexually assaulted her while she was a child in Oklahoma in the 1980s. Morris was at the time working as a traveling preacher. Oh, you tell me a dude's a pastor, I automatically am suspicious of him. What kind of stuff are they up to? I should actually have pastor friends. I've had a pastor on this show. I should rework that. There are plenty of pastors that I have met that preach the love of Jesus. The love of Jesus, actually put their money where their mouth is and are good Christians. But if you find an anti-gay pastor, that dude has skeletons in his closet. Hands down, I've never been proven wrong yet. If it is a far-right nut job preacher out here spewing hate, talking about how he's anti-gay, anti-trans, that dude has some major demons in his closet. Take it to the bank. Speaking of people with skeletons in their closet, I know this dude's got... He probably doesn't have a closet because apparently like he just crashes in places or something. I'm not really understanding what his living arrangements are because he's apparently out of his mind on ketamine or meth all the time. But if he had a closet, there's some skeletons in it. Elon Musk says his AI chatbot, Grok, who has been sending out anti-Semitic messages and calling itself Mecha Hitler. That's being addressed. See, it went too woke. The chatbot went too woke and it kept owning right-wingers, and the right-wingers kept complaining.
Up yours, woke moralists. We'll see who cancels who.
Grok is talking like Elon now. Watch some of the things that it says here. Tell me that did not sound like Elon. So he's saying the anti-Semitic messages from Grok are being addressed.
All right, welcome back to ABC News Live Reports. The CEO of social media platform X has announced she is stepping down. The company's chief executive, Linda Yaccarino, resigning at a critical time for X. Controversy now swirling around Elon Musk's Grok AI chatbot, which appeared to post anti-Semitic comments that praised Adolf Hitler. Elon Musk responding to questions about the post, blaming Grok's anti-Semitic comments on the bot being, quote, too eager to please and be manipulated by users, and says that the issue is being addressed. I want to bring in our ABC News senior Washington reporter Will Staken, along with the host of the Rip Current podcast, Jacob Ward. Gentlemen, good to have you with us. And Will, starting with you, what more have we heard from Musk himself over these anti-Semitic rants from the bot?
Well, like you said, that's kind of where
what we've heard from Elon Musk about these posts from his chatbot, initially he seemed to kind of joke about it, said, never a dull moment here on X. And then he's kind of making excuses saying that the bot, at the time at least, was being
Tones, welcome in.
to please users that were posting and asking, leading questions. But, I think this kind of like started a few weeks ago when Musk was on X and took issue with a post that Grok made saying there was more right-wing violence than left-wing violence, and so that he wanted to update it to make sure it was more, anti-woke.
But that's true. There is far more right-wing violence than left-wing violence. And I know you guys really want to see Smokey. His little baby's been hunkering down under the bed because the storms came and he's scared. I had to hold him, and then he a particularly loud thunder came and he rushed to under the bed. Playing with a cat, you say, Tones? I'm sure you've been, and it usually doesn't bother Maynard, but it was so loud that even Maynard was upset by it. So that's what the weather's been like here. The Smokey's he's a scaredy cat. He's always got to be held. Mega Hitler! What color you want my bandana changed to? I need to put a thing where you can type that in so I know. Which color?
Free speech, and through that update, which he announced on Friday, we've now seen this flood of anti-Semitic posts from his chatbot that are just
hell yeah, purple
over X.
Oh, that's interesting. But Jacob, how does something like this though happen with an AI chatbot? I mean, these anti-Semitic ideas had to come from somewhere. Is there some kind of bias baked in?
Yeah, I mean, this is the whole thing that we're all facing right now, right? We have these private platforms owned by some pretty ideological figures, increasingly ideological, right? Silicon Valley Titans once upon a time prided themselves on staying.
Oh shit! I grabbed the black one, not the purple one.
More progressive politics. Now, you've got somebody like Elon Musk. I mean, the fact that he's saying that this bot was too easy to please tells you a little something about what it was told to do when they made the update over the weekend, right? He said we're going to turn down the wokeness. He's been upset about Grok in the past being too woke, as he said. Clearly, this is just sort of, going overboard on what it was told to do. We know that some of the high-level instructions given.
Grok kept owning right-wingers, and it was hilarious, so he had to change it.
By Grok's programmers to it, talked about giving it permission to get into politically incorrect topics if it could substantiate its claims. Those guidelines seem to have been removed as of Tuesday evening, and that's why Grok administration, whatever we call these people, executives, they don't really get back to us anymore, so we don't know what to call them, but Grok executives are writing that now the situation may be better in hand.
Interesting, but then it begs the question here, Jacob, of where do you draw the line now in terms of content moderation when you're promoting free speech?
Well, it's pretty amazing, I mean, to draw a comparison between something like TikTok, where if you say Hitler out loud, the filters on that thing will kick you right off of a live.
Oh my God. Well, first of all, I can't go live on TikTok anymore because apparently I didn't know you can't smoke pot on TikTok. That's why we aren't live on TikTok. I made a big deal about, this is our first night live on TikTok, and we were kicked off within a minute. Allow me to show you how strict TikTok actually is. For those that don't know, these are all clips that are absolutely viewable on YouTube, on Facebook, on X. I've gotten better at it. But as you see, as we scroll down, you'll start seeing community violation, community guidelines violations. Community guideline violation. Community guideline violation. Community guideline violation. Community guideline violation. See, I've gotten better at knowing what TikTok wants and what it don't want. Also, explain to me how I used to get thousands of views on videos, and I can't get but like 2 now. 1, 2, 5, 4, 4, 2. But you scroll down, I've got hundreds, thousands of views on videos. All of my videos are getting hundreds of views at least. Several getting thousands. I certainly did fill out the algorithm. It like hates me. But also community guideline violation. I think that's part of it. I kept violating the guidelines.
Spike your content such that you can't speak any longer to a large audience. Now it turns out, X is very much the opposite. And the difficulty, that critics I've been speaking to see with this is that today we're seeing it.
I don't think I can take him down, Julie, but I don't think
when it's too.
I don't think if you go to my page, you would see them there. I think it's only because I'm logged in as me and I see them that they were taken down.
Much. We all have this kind of,
but also I hate TikTok
to it. But in the future, when this thing gets more subtle, gets better at injecting ideas into the zeitgeist, that's when things are going to get really scary, Kana.
Oh, the subtlety of it all. That's an interesting point there.
Yeah, I went on rants about TikTok and how much I hate it, and people are like, don't I follow you on TikTok? Just because I put my shit on there doesn't mean I'm looking through TikTok. I gotta put my shit on there. Let's talk about something that's really, really pissing me off. A lot of people, I had a problem with people, ostensibly on the left telling me like, oh, there's no difference between Biden and Trump, blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to vote for either. Like, there's a huge difference. And this is a big example of what the difference is in the administrations. A click to cancel rule was set to go in effect. What, July 1st, I think? Or set to go into effect August 1st? To make it easier on you to be able to cancel your stupid ass subscriptions to all these services. This was a Lena Khan specialty from the Biden administration. Nope, no more.
An update this afternoon, a federal appeals court rejected the Federal Trade Commission's click-to-cancel rule. It was set to take effect on Monday. The click-to-cancel rule would have required businesses to make it just as easy to cancel as it is to sign up. The appeals court says the agency failed to conduct a preliminary analysis and did not follow required procedures.
And this is something, Steve Steger, for Steve on your side.
I'm going to go off on this because this is a scam that companies play on you. They want you, and that's why they'll give you like a free subscription. They'll give you like free 2 weeks, free month, because you sign up and then you forget to cancel. And they make it hard. So you might go and you might not be able to find where to cancel. And you got to answer a whole bunch of questions and blah, 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 blah. Fuck that shit. And I'm telling you all right now, if you cancel all your subscriptions, they'll keep offering you free subscriptions. Just be sure to mark it in your calendar when you need to cancel it. Don't ever keep Amazon active. Every time I go to order something from Amazon, they'll offer me Prime to get free shipping, but I don't order shit from Amazon but like once every 6 months, a year. I'm constantly getting free Spotify. I'm constantly getting free Netflix because I take the free version and then I cancel it. But you have to stay on top of that.
Has been covering for a while, our consumer investigator.
Oh, any creatives out there? I've just found this out now since I've been in a hard spot. I just found this one out. If you, I have my Adobe connected to my PayPal credit card or my PayPal debit card, and it won't go through if there's not money in my PayPal account. Well, I haven't had any money in my, but like I've been taking money out of my PayPal account, making sure there's nothing in there, and because I can't just cancel my Adobe subscription. So if you have the Adobe Suite or Photoshop or something, check this out. it will pop up for like a month and tell you there's a billing issue, but once that happens, it just goes away. I haven't paid it in 2 months. It's still usable. I can still use Photoshop. I ain't gonna pay that shit even when I have money. So if that's something for you, but you have to have it'll only let you use a working credit card. And or debit card, and because, it's the PayPal debit card, and PayPal won't let it go through unless there's money, it's a little workaround there, because it's gonna try to charge you. It tries to charge me like 5 times a day. But there ain't shit in there, so good luck.
So what happens now that this is blocked? It seemed like such a good thing.
Kind of goes back to the status quo, right? You have to hope that some of these businesses were preparing for this because it was supposed to take effect on Monday. So the hope is some companies were trying to get some things into place. Maybe they already have spent the money on it. Maybe they'll do it. But yeah, I mean, it kind of returns to status quo. We talked to someone a few weeks ago who was going to try to cancel one subscription that he could not figure out how to cancel. He ended up going to another service to cancel that subscription. They actually write a letter and somehow got enrolled in a subscription service there.
Wow.
Yeah, and we didn't end up getting to talk to him for the story, but he finally got out of it, but it was just a nightmare. And so the goal behind this all along was just to make it just as easy to cancel a subscription as it was when you signed up for it, or even easier, right? Like if you signed up for it in person, this was almost going to require that you needed to have an online option to cancel. The other interesting part of it, it would have required, if you're coming up on the end of a free trial, it would have required that the company notify you that the free trial is all over.
That is a great thing because I always forget. And I'm like, oh, and sometimes I'll even put it in my calendar, like remember to cancel this subscription. So what was the court's issue here? Why is this not going through?
So the issue is how the FTC did this. They kind of rushed through it back in October during the kind of tail end of the Biden administration. They were trying to amend an old rule. It's the negative options plan rule. Negative options plan basically means a service that you subscribe to, but you're not automatically canceled from, right? So you have to opt out of that service to eventually get out of it. They were trying to amend that rule, and by doing that, they didn't have to do as much regulatory process around it. They didn't have to prepare reports of what the impact was going to be. They didn't have to seek comments from the public. The court today ruled this should have, because of the impact that it would have had on the economy, that this needed to go through the standard process that the FTC would normally have to go through to either amend a big rule that's going to cost the economy more than $100 million or to create a new rule. They didn't do it. They say it doesn't apply to anything. They'll have to go back to the drawing board.
Yikes. So in general, what can we do, though, to cut down subscriptions? Because, I mean, we need to kind of regularly check. All of us do.
One of the most important things you can do is go through your bank account every month, because
that's a good
talk
idea.
to a lot of people and they don't realize, and your credit cards, bank account and credit cards.
I'm bad about never looking at my bank account because I just don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Don't realize that they're signed up for accounts.
Yeah.
You may have signed up for something on a whim. I think BritBox is where I am right now. Like I signed up for that a while ago to watch one show. Haven't watched it since and realized, it's time to go back and cancel. If you go into your phone, your Apple subscriptions and your Google subscriptions, you can find, if you search in the settings, subscriptions, you'll see everything that you've signed up for through Google or through Apple there. You can do something similar.
I'm doing it as we speak.
You can actually go in there, and if you're logged into your Apple ID, it'll show you all the Apple subscriptions
there it is.
Apple's automatically deducting. So you can go through all of those things. You can cancel them there. I signed up for like a plant identifier app.
I did too. Plant identifier.
What is that?
Nerds.
A picture of something and it tells you how to care for it. But I remember at the time I said, this costs like $50. I'm going to do it for a year and then I'm going to cancel it. And I just came up on the cancellation.
Wow. See, we all deal with it.
Just go through your credit cards, go through your bank statements, see what you're getting charged for each month. And if it's too much and if it's something that you don't use, it's a good idea to just kind of purge those things. And hope that these companies are better about it. The cable companies, by the way, were the big ones who were fighting for this. They said it was going to cost them $25 million to change their processes. And you know that the cable companies have kind of a rough relationship with consumers as it is.
Yes.
So the hope is that they'll come to some sort of solution.
Fucking cable companies.
Something else, because people would like this, but okay. Thank you.
Gosh, that's
well, we're all going to
info.
be doing it now.
A reporter that's in one of the top
I've got a
20 markets is Denver.
But I definitely did the plant one as well.
Purge them.
Steve Stager, thank you.
Yeah, it would probably disgust you guys to know how much money these people. They're probably making just south of $1 million a year, if not over $1 million. He's definitely 500, 600, 7,000 a year.
Oh, yeah.
Jukebox, welcome in, my friend. The contract they struck with the anchor at the TV station I worked at, which was like a top 80 market. I think we were like 81, 82. It was like $250,000, and I'm like, really? Really? I'm better than you at that. And I can do the production. Wow, you're paying me $10 an hour to do the production for a motherfucker that's... What was I wrong about, Jukebox? The fuck? What?
Come on, man.
Interesting. Did I even say anything about Joe Biden? I'd love to hear about it. What am I wrong about? You can call in 917-830-4359. Brother, that's just an assertion. Right-wingers are, and I'm possibly prejudicing you right now, prejudging you. Right-wingers love to make assertions without any supporting arguments or evidence. It's kind of annoying. But if you want to call in, 917-830-4359, or you can hop in the Discord. I was ready for you to come in. I have no idea who you are. What? But if you want, I'll give you a titty slap.
A titty slap! Give me those titties,
Come on, now.
Give me those titties, huh? Does that mean that he washed his ass? Was that how he was getting ready for me?
Life is too short to walk this earth for a crusty asshole. Wash your ass.
Do wash your ass, please. Oh, shit. Oh, I'm sorry. I got it on Do Not Disturb because somebody wanted to keep calling in. Call back, my friend. 917-830-4359. Call again. We had a dude trying to keep calling back and drop in bombs in the chat, so I had to put it on Do Not Disturb. Give me another call back. Did you call the right number? Because it doesn't say I have a missed call. Oh, there we go. Caller, you're on the Troll Patrol. What's going on, my friend?
Hey, how you doing?
I'm great. How about yourself?
I'm doing all right. I just clicked on your thing. I don't know who you are. I'm never even on Twitch, right?
Interesting.
But it said, argue politics with me.
Yeah.
So I'm just telling you that you're wrong about Joe Biden.
But what was I wrong about?
Just everything.
That's not a statement. That sound like I can't, dispute you because you're not making an actual argument.
No, I don't have an opinion on it.
I mean, fuck Joe Biden. Well, I love that you don't have an opinion, but you wanted to argue. I love my kind of person.
I thought it'd be fun.
I'll try to have fun. Well, give me your hot take. What's your hottest musical opinion?
My hottest opinion?
Musical opinion.
Hottest musical opinion?
Yeah, give me your hot take on music.
Let's see. I think, I guess I'm very mainstream when it comes to music.
Ain't nothing wrong with
that. New country sucks.
Oh, yeah. Outlaw country all the way.
K-pop sucks. Yeah, there we go.
Hip-hop sucks? What are you talking about?
K-pop sucks.
Oh, K-pop. It's not my thing, but I'm not going to say it sucks. I've seen some really talented acts, but it's not my thing, no.
Okay, here's one. I got one for you. Sabrina Carpenter is not hot at all.
She's definitely not my definition of hot, but like I love her voice. I love her songwriting. That's me espresso. That's fucking hilarious. Or like she wants you to treat her like Juno to get her knocked up.
No, exactly.
That's fucking. She's clever.
I was deployed overseas for a couple months, and that was the only thing that we talked about because everybody looked at me weird when I said that Sabrina Carpenter is not hot.
Well, I'm 40-something years old, so it's kind of creepy if I did find her hot because she kind of looked like a little kid.
Oh yeah, definitely. That was what I said, and everybody. I mean, I was out there with 40-year-old dudes, and they were saying that she was the hottest thing on the market.
No.
Same thing with Zendaya.
Who is the hottest thing on the market? My pick would be Iowa Senator Joni Ernst.
Oh, nice pick.
Fox.
It's actress Gemma
Stone Cold
Arterton.
Fox. Who was your pick?
Actress Gemma Arterton.
I don't think I know her. G or J?
Gemma Arterton.
Oh, she's British.
Yep.
Oh, she's got an adorable face. I'll go. I do not know anything she's ever been in.
She almost doesn't play in movies anymore, but I'll see her in the news every now and then.
Looks like she was in a James Bond movie, but I don't think I've seen that one. Quantum of Solace?
Yeah, no, I got to see that.
Is that a newer one?
No, that one's pretty old. I think the latest movie that she was in was like this Ryan Reynolds movie where he kills people.
Deadpool?
Voices.
Oh, I don't think I know that one. I'm probably not up on the newest movies either.
Oh, well, she was in The Kingsman.
I don't think I've seen The Kingsman because that's about 2012, 2010, something like that, right?
2021.
Oh, is it that new? Shit.
That's the new one, yeah.
Huh. My bad.
Yeah.
Okay, you said you were deployed. What branch were you?
I'm in the Army.
Oh, you're in the Army. Oh, you're still active duty?
Yeah.
So what do you think about what's going on right now?
I don't think anything about what's going on right now because I literally just got home like a week ago.
Oh, so you're on leave?
Yeah. So there's really nothing. Like I got a lot to catch up on. Apparently there was a bunch of riots. I'm from the Seattle area. Apparently there's a bunch of riots up here. I went to Seattle fairly recently. It looks like a shithole.
I don't know about any riots. There's a bad habit of, like, first of all, mainstream media lies, right? And they're very
right.
A lot of right-wingers want to say that the mainstream media is liberal, and it's not. I will tell you, as someone who's worked in the media for almost 30 years, that every boss I've ever had was a Republican. The owners of all these companies are Republican. So they have a very pro-capitalist, pro-right-wing narrative. And, saying there's riots is sensational, and it gets some clicks and views. And, like, you click on it, and it wasn't a riot. It was just a cop assaulting somebody.
Well, they're really good at inciting people. So I had an uncle who died recently, and I requested to get sent home a little bit earlier so I could attend the funeral. And because of the news, my family, so I'm Mexican for context, family members did not want service members in the family to attend the funeral because they didn't want to get deported.
Well, there is a big problem right now. I don't know if you saw that, like, we just covered the story of a Marine vet got the shit. His dad got the shit beat out of him. But we had another Marine vet that got arrested, still detained as far as I know. And, like, multiple vets at this point have been picked up by ICE because, they were immigrants, they served the country, and Trump don't give a shit, right? There's a lot of people out here that are very scared because Trump said he was going to go arrest criminals and gang members, but instead they're harassing people that are working in fields, or they're harassing people with food trucks and shit. Hardworking immigrants, because they're actually scaredy cats. They don't want to go and confront gang members. That's why you don't hear about, ICE getting shot at.
No, yeah. So I'm coming from a right-wing perspective. I voted for the guy twice.
Why?
I agree. Well, so when he would campaign, I agreed with his immigration plans, right? And now, I mean, with little that I know,
You say you're Mexican heritage.
yes,
Okay, yeah, this is like mind blowing to me.
yeah, no, there's lots of us.
Oh, I know.
Surprised.
The Latino population tends to be more conservative because you guys had Christianity, Catholicism specifically, forced on you during the conquest, centuries ago. Yes, I know.
Yeah. So, I come from a very conservative background too. Yeah, so I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But a lot of the shit that I'm seeing, like, again, I haven't really kept up with the news. I've been so busy. But
Completely
what I have
understandable.
seen coming from Trump,
And like, I am very against the military, but I am absolutely like I support service members like you guys. I don't want to ever see you sent to war, but like if we're gonna send you to war, we need to fucking take care of you when you come back. That kind of thing, right?
Oh yeah. No welcome party when I got back home. But then again, there's no war. But a lot of the stuff that I have seen, it just seems like such a shit show. A lot of the decisions he's making, especially the stuff that happened in LA, was a very bad call. He's slowly lost a lot of my support, and I'm not a MAGA guy. Like I'm America first. That's it. I'm not a MAGA guy at all. But he's slowly lost my support through all of this.
So in 2015, I knew that the man was a pedophile con man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand how anyone else didn't see it.
Oh, what was up with that? Sorry, again, like new to this. Again, I've been being gone for a while.
Totally understand. Getting
This,
acclimated.
Yeah, what's up with this Jeffrey Epstein file thing?
Trump in Jeffrey Epstein's contact book 14 times is on record saying him and Jeffrey Epstein, great friends. Jeff Epstein, great guy, loves young girls. They've been photographed together numerous times. He actually used Jeff Epstein's plane on the campaign trail. He appointed the prosecutor that got Jeff Epstein off in Florida. Pam Bondi was the AG in Florida when Epstein got off. So, I mean, is it not obvious that Donald Trump is a pedophile?
No, yeah, it's a good thing that he won't be running for office again, I guess you could say.
I doubt that, man. We're stuck with him.
Well, I mean, it's a 2-term limit type thing.
They are already talking about, because here's the thing, and like you listen to any legal expert, technically you can't run, but they'll make some argument, and the Supreme Court's not gonna strike him down. Who's gonna stop him from running a third time? He's already said he's gonna run a third time. He's still campaigning.
That's fair, but with like everything that's going on, I mean, I'm can't be the only Trump supporter that's like, I don't know, probably. I mean, he was better than Kamala, but
How in the? I hate it when people say that shit. How? You're going off your fucking vibes, man. There is no way in hell that any rational person can be like, Donald Trump is a better candidate for president than Kamala Harris. Not in any fucking world, man.
Well, so primarily is because
You didn't like the way she
really
laughed,
ran for
or that
office.
she was a black woman, or something. Like, what was it?
She wasn't really voted on the Democrat ticket. That's primarily what it was.
Oh my fucking God! Seriously? Well, that's not how things work, man. I would have loved that they had an open primary, but Joe Biden was determined to run again, and
The Democrats just didn't really like that. They didn't like that at all.
well, yeah, like, but you understand, like, it's the president's choice, right? Like, it wasn't like there was some conspiracy to, like, we're gonna switch out Kamala Harris. No, fucking Joe Biden's just a stubborn old man.
That guy was like a boiled egg towards the end of his term. Do you think he really picked it though? Like, I'm not trying to be like one of those Republican.
As someone who has, I watched Joe Biden speeches all the time. We carried them live. I watched him sit and talk with people during meetings and shit. He is absolutely Joe Biden to this day. We just listened to him the other day. Joe Biden to this day has far more mental capacity than Trump, hands down. Trump is a lunatic. You see that, right?
Yeah, I can't disagree, honestly. I can't
mean,
disagree.
one of the dumbest people I've ever seen in my life, a complete fucking psycho.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm not even like the biggest Elon Musk fan, but Musk
Well, you
was
shouldn't
right
be,
about
because
this whole
Elon
big
Musk
bill.
is a fucking grifter.
But yeah, well, you got to agree, he was right about this bill.
Well, the bill
And then I get a lot of
sucked, but
people
it wasn't.
telling me, Are you excited to see all that money coming? You know, you guys are going to get pay raises and stuff from this bill. I'm like, no, I'm not going to see any bit of that. I'm not going to see any bit of that because all the money is going to go straight to military technologies.
Oh,
Even
absolutely.
the grunts are not going to see any of this stuff. We get issued like really old, worn down shit from GWAT, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's no way, not even the Democrats, not the GOP, they're not going to support anything about getting us new gear, right?
Oh, I'm aware.
They're not going to support anything about getting us any kind of pay raises or anything like that. So, you know, if we get someone that runs up, Democrat or Republican, that will actually do something like that, they have my full support.
I believe Biden gave you the biggest pay raise in 20 years, 25 years, something like that. If I'm not mistaken. And I could be.
I mean, we did see something, yeah, but again,
okay.
I didn't join for the pay, right?
So tell me,
I'm pretty sure a lot of people didn't, but it is nice. Yeah, Joe Biden did pretty good with that.
So, like, we see like a bump for the money for the military in this latest bill. But tell me if I'm wrong on this. You're not going to see that. That's going to go to some military contractor.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
And doesn't it piss you off? Doesn't it piss you off to be in a war zone? Your ass is in danger. You got to take fucking orders. But there's some contractor across the street from you that's just hauling a truck from one side to the other, getting paid like 4 times, 5 times what you are.
Oh yeah.
Fucking sucks, doesn't it?
It really fucking sucks.
Brother, we need to radicalize you and get you over here on the leftist side.
I don't know if it'd be that far, but definitely not a Trumper.
Well, what do you think leftism is?
Well, I think it's very establishment.
Very establishment.
Very establishment. Very big government. Very.
You're thinking liberal.
We can run your life better than you can.
You're thinking liberal, not leftist. We're leftists here. We're not Joe Biden supporters. We reluctantly voted with Biden because he was better than Trump.
So like the way that I voted for Trump over Kamala.
Well, only we're not stupid and we're falling for con men, you know. Like I don't mean to be coarse because you've been like super nice.
No.
But like
No,
you're
good.
I just don't understand how anyone can look at Trump and not realize that dude's a con man. I should not vote for him.
Yeah, no, I'm starting to see it.
It's took me 10 years of fucking yelling about it to get people to see it. But leftism is about collective action. Us banding together to form the government that we actually want.
Here's the thing. Okay, so here's my ideal government, right? Downsize with a lot of... here's another reason why I voted for Trump, right? Because he happens to do what he says he does. You get a lot of people...
No, he doesn't.
Well,
Brother, okay, you've been gone, but you don't even know. Like, Wall Street called him Taco. Trump always chickens out because he doesn't do what he says he's going to do. They coined that phrase while you were gone.
No, I got a lot of catching up to do. But you got to give it to him. Regardless of whether or not you agree with him, and I'm tending to lean towards not agreeing with him, he does do what he says he does.
But he
which
doesn't.
Is something that we need more in government.
Okay, let me give you a good example. Like, all through the campaign, he told me he didn't know the people from Project 2025, and he had no affiliation with Project 2025. He appointed Russell Vogt, the guy that wrote Project 2025, as the Office of Budget Management Director. And now they have been implementing almost everything from Project 2025.
Does anybody even really read?
Oh, we did.
Project 2025 was about?
Oh yeah, we did. Here's another one. He said that He was gonna get all kinds of deals done in 90 days. It's been more than 90 days. Now he's just imposing tariffs on everybody.
Oh yeah, no, I heard about that. I mean, it hit us where we were at too, and it was
He
pretty
said
fun.
he was gonna release the Epstein files. He never
Okay,
does
yeah.
what he says he's gonna do.
I'll give that one to you, yeah. Hey, well, here's hoping that in 2028 he'll be able to release those so he can get down the next person who runs on the Democratic ticket.
Oh, they're never gonna release those, and like I tend to think there probably is like a Mossad connection. It's kind of conspiratorial, but like I think Jeffrey Epstein was working with Mossad, and they were blackmailing people on behalf of Israel.
I can't disagree with that, honestly.
And Trump was one of them.
Yeah. No, I can't imagine how everyone else here felt, but for the guys that were forward, when we heard that we had bombed Iran and that we were, heavily taking sides with Israel, I felt like it was going to go straight from where we were at straight to Iran. And yeah, no.
Had your movements changed in the lead up to Iran?
It really has. I got friends that are going to some bases out there.
I wholeheartedly believe that Iran stopped the escalation. Iran has shown incredible restraint because Israel is doing everything they can to get us involved in the war.
Mm-hmm.
I wholeheartedly believe that because they want us to cover for them at the UN when they get brought up on the war crimes.
Yeah, no, I've been let in on this report that was put out like a couple months ago, saying that a lot of those nuclear silos that were there had nothing to do, and they were inspected and everything, and they were proven to not be any kind of military weapons.
Oh, absolutely. And then we had the nuclear deal that Trump ripped up this first time in office that was preventing Iran from getting a nuclear weapon, and was probably that deal in and of itself was probably going to do more to take out the Islamic regime in Iran. And right now we could have seen a revolution if we had stayed on that path. But now I am certain that we have emboldened the people of Iran. Like, we have galvanized them against us and given the Islamic regime, the theocracy in Iran, exactly what they need in order. They have an enemy to fight against, so the people aren't looking at them.
Yeah, not my official opinion. I'm not saying this. I'm not saying this. We should definitely not be working so closely with Israel as we have.
Oh, hands down.
This is just going to lead to more and more. This is just going to build up and build up and build up.
You want me to really make you mad?
Yeah.
Israel has health care and we don't, and we pay for it. We pay for Israel's health care.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Unfortunate. Yeah, unfortunate.
All right, Johnny, my man, we've had a great discussion. I'm starting to get hungry.
Yeah.
I'm going to have to get out of here. Dude,
all right.
I enjoyed this. This was great, and I hope
me too.
Next time you come in, give us a call back. I'd love to hear from you.
No, you earned yourself a subscriber.
Awesome. Thank you, my man.
Yeah, I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one. Be careful out there.
Oh, you too.
Excellent call. Awesome. I am getting hungry, but I want to cover a couple more things before we get out of here. Do you guys know who the ambassador to Greece is, or who Trump has nominated to be the ambassador to Greece? She is the ex-girlfriend of Gavin Newsom, his daughter-in-law, Kimberly Guilfoyle, or ex-daughter-in-law. That's right. They split, didn't they?
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. I am really excited about the U.S.-Greece relationship and the promise and the possibilities. I've been grateful, Ms. Guilfoyle, of what you've already discussed. Can we dive a little bit more deeply into some of the strategic importance of the work that we're doing and that we can build upon, I think, in the coming months with your leadership? Thank you. If you could put your microphone on, I appreciate that. So you mentioned the base in...
And if I remember correctly, didn't Cory Booker date Kimberly Guilfoyle?
Andropoli. Also, I want to mention the base at Suda Bay and how important they are to the U.S.-Greece Mutual Defense Cooperation Agreement. And I'm wondering if the administration is planning to any upgrades to those existing bases, given their pivotal strategic importance in that region, as you already discussed. And you share the perspective that maintaining and increasing the capacity at Alexandropoli is important.
Yes, Senator, thank you for the question. It's nice to see you. I believe this is such an important relationship. The administration believes it as well. This is a post where we are dealing with EU, G20, a lot of complex issues.
Maybe I was wrong on that one.
Area. And I think it is incredibly important. Again, I am speaking now in the role of a private citizen. I would work in conjunction with the State Department, Senator Rubio, the deputy secretaries. And
I'm going to be honest. She can be my GOP mommy. I like her glasses. She's got style.
Also following in the mission of American interests moving forward to make sure that we are...
Who'd I just make gag in the chat?
Relationship and partnership is maintained, that if there are necessary improvements or expenditures that need to be made, that I would advocate in that fashion very strenuously on behalf of the United States of America and the American people.
I am grateful for that. That's the kind of strength.
You got that leftist audio.
Tradition in the ambassador to Greece we had with George Souness, who's probably the best bipartisan ambassador, and I'm sure you know.
My dear friend who is here today.
Yes, yes. I didn't want to call him out. He does not like attention. He's very shy.
He's Greek. I mean,
yeah.
Fake news.
yes. Very still. Thank you. Let's continue. I have a lot of concerns about.
If they're not exes, he's definitely flirting with her.
And
I hear she's single, Corey.
Should be giving more attention to. When I visited Greece last year and had the pleasure of being with the ambassador for some time, there was really calm between Greece and Turkey, between Athens and Ankara. The Prime Minister of Greece and the President of Turkey met last year twice to try to reduce those tensions, but I am concerned that with regard to sovereignty challenges, maritime borders, those tensions exist and could be real points that get inflamed. Tell me about your concern, and I've heard from a lot of my constituents in the Greek diaspora as well as from my travels that it's critical.
Wait a minute, he was dating Rosario Dawson?
Any threats to the sovereignty of our
this motherfucker,
allies, especially Greece.
Senator, again, thank you for the question. Yes, this is a very important issue, and I know there is a lot of concern from Greece, from Israel, from Cyprus, etc., regarding any increasing of weaponization in Turkey with the F-35s. Again, I'm speaking as a private citizen.
We also dated Mindy Kaling, I believe. Or at least that's what Sparkles told me, because that's why she hated him. In the 2020 primary, she hated Cory Booker because she said he did Mindy Kaling wrong, and she loves Mindy Kaling because she's an Office fan. What would you do if AI Marco Rubio? Why does she look like that? Hate will warp you. Hate is a hell of a drug. AI Marco Rubio making calls to officials. It has caused an investigation.
An imposter raising security questions at the highest levels of our government. The Washington Post exclusively reporting that a Marco Rubio imposter is using an AI voice to call high-level officials. The Post reports, quote, an imposter pretending to be the Secretary of State contacted 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, and a member of Congress, sending them voice and messages that mimic Rubio's voice and writing style using artificial intelligence-powered software. This is according to a senior U.S. official and a State Department cable obtained by the Washington Post. NBC News has not seen that cable. We have reached out to the State Department.
Nathan Sampson, did I tell you guys good evening? Welcome in.
By the Washington Post, the State Department responded that it would, quote, carry out a thorough investigation and
I feel like I would recognize Marco Rubio's voice, but I'm also a political nerd. So
to prevent this from happening in the future. And joining us,
it's me, little Marco,
national security reporter John Hudson. John, crazy reporting. Talk to us about what you
look kind of mad
and how they discovered this was happening.
Yeah, well, it is a really chilling window into the brave new world that we're living in right now. Essentially, this began in mid-June when a impersonator created a Signal account under marco.rubio@state.gov. And began reaching out to high-level officials. We're talking about a U.S. governor. We're talking about a U.S. member of Congress, 3 foreign ministers. And he or she began sending text and video and voice messages using AI-assisted software. So it would help mimic the secretary's voice. Sending voice messages, things that could easily convince someone that they were talking to the real Marco Rubio. What's so concerning about this, and this is included in the cable that
I encourage you to do it, Johnny,
is that there are foreign ministers, for instance, that Marco Rubio trusts and has to deal with on sensitive issues, and the concern is that those ministers could be thinking they're talking to the real Marco Rubio and incidentally share more sensitive information with someone that is obviously not trusted by the U.S. government. There's still no indication who this person is, but it is being investigated by the Bureau of Diplomatic Security at the State Department.
Again, you report that they...
Oh, I know why Flash hasn't been here tonight. Hassan's on.
This person contacted at least 5 department officials, non-department individuals, I should say, including 3 foreign ministers, a U.S. governor, a U.S. member of Congress as well, through the messaging app Signal. Do we know the nature of these messages?
We don't know the nature of these messages. I have asked the State Department and the FBI to give a little bit more information. Who are who's the governor? Who are the members of Congress? And who are the, foreign ministers that were contacted? The FBI declined to comment. And so essentially, we're still trying to find out more information about who these people were and whether or not these individuals responded. The easy thing about what was conducted is a few things. One, it shows how readily accessible AI software is. All you need is about 15 seconds of audio from a public person, and then you can upload that into the software and then really type whatever you want to say under the person's voice. So that's very easily accessible. What's a little bit more difficult to come by is the phone numbers for, a U.S. governor, a phone number for a member of Congress. But they were able to get that and then and send these messages. And that's what's so worrying, that what they respond to potentially could include sensitive information that the United States does not want to have for unknown actors.
I mean, you just talked about how this isn't a very sophisticated sort of thing. It doesn't take a tech guru to pull this off. And you also are reporting it's not the first time there have been impersonations targeting...
I'm assuming it's a foreign actor, right?
It's also, we know, not the first time the Signal app has been used. Is the Trump administration making changes?
Yeah. No. So you're absolutely right that the Signal was, of course, the tool of choice that resulted in the pretty big Signalgate scandal, and where it was revealed that the Trump administration was using Signal for large gatherings of national security officials discussing very sensitive topics. Now, that is one of the risks with when a U.S. official is reaching out to someone else via Signal. Everyone knows about that, so it is going to be in the mind of foreign and domestic officials that the Trump administration often uses Signal. That's why some of the experts that I spoke to really reiterated that it is so important to not use Signal for official government business, even though it's quite respected for its end-to-end encryption that it has. Exactly situations
Quite respected.
Like this, you want to make sure that you're using the protocol that diplomats are told to use, which is U.S. government systems that are secure and protected.
You want me to grab you a Maynard?
John Hudson, thank you so much.
You guys want a Maynard, don't you? He tried to go running. Hey, Bubby. Quesadilla, did I tell you good evening? Maynard James Kitten is not impressed. Let me get you an animal video and get the fuck out of here. Hey, did you know that a couple weeks ago we were all talking about Zohran Mamdani and we totally missed like the coolest thing that happened during the New York City election? Bodega cats, legal.
A local councilman has introduced a bill to officially make bodega cats legal.
Fox 8's Kendall Green.
Oh, shit.
His details on the proposal, which many say is the perfect way to keep mice and rats away from the stores.
If you ask New Yorkers, bodegas feel more like...
Oh, I thought it already passed. My bad.
It's a cute cat. Comes outside, plays with people pet it all the time.
It's adorable. It's great to have a local bodega cat. My wife loves it. She's going to be stoked when she sees this. So, yeah.
And cats tend to get more love than the workers behind the counter, especially Mia at the bodega on 69th and 2nd, who's featured on a Bodega Cat Instagram account. Councilmember Keith Powers also on Insta.
A bodega without a bodega cat? You gotta be kidding me.
Bodega cats are an iconic part of our city. Everybody knows them, loves them, but yet most people don't know, they're not technically legal.
Meat Cakes, you're going to owe us some cat pictures.
The president isn't catting around with the idea of making them legal. He's introduced his new bill that will also establish a free vaccination program for cats that are registered to bodegas, sharing the roles they play inside.
Keeping it clean, getting vermin out of the way, so they actually play a role within the bodega, but we want to make sure they're legal, they're vaccinated, they have all the resources they need to stay healthy, and that they can be healthy inside the store.
Now, shoppers come to this bodega all the time to pick from their variety of flowers here, but when we asked them if they had to choose between the cat and the flowers, well, take a listen to the answer.
Cat. Cat all day.
What are your most favorite reactions you've gotten out of this so far? What did somebody say?
I think somebody just asked me when I'm running for mayor based on this bill. Somebody on Instagram just asked me when I'm running for mayor. No plans at this moment.
Sure they did.
This time.
Kendall Green, Fox 5 News.
A local councilman has introduced a bill to officially make bodega cats
more cats.
Fox 8's Kendall Green has details on the proposal, which many say is the perfect way to keep mice and rats away from the stores.
If you ask New Yorkers,
perfect.
More like bodegas with a pet cat around. It's a cute cat. Comes outside, plays with people pet it all the time.
It's adorable. It's great to have a local bodega cat. My wife loves it. She's going to be stoked when she sees this. So, yeah.
And cats tend to get more love than the workers behind the counter, especially Mia at the bodega on 69th and 2nd, who's featured on a Bodega Cat Instagram account. Councilmember Keith Powers also on Insta.
A bodega without a bodega cat? You gotta be kidding me.
Bodega cats are an iconic part of our city. Everybody knows them, loves them, but yet most people don't know, they're not technically legal.
Powers, running for Manhattan Borough President, isn't catting around with the idea of making them legal. He's introduced his new bill that will also establish a free vaccination program for cats that are registered.
I like the way you think, Johnny boy.
The roles roles they play inside.
Keeping it clean, getting vermin out of the way. So they actually play a role.
Where'd the cats go?
But we want to make
What?
sure they're legal, they're vaccinated. They
I don't know how I did that.
They need to stay healthy, and that they can be healthy inside.
Sorry, I was showing you Anna Paulina Luna's ass. My GOB mommy over here. It's a nice ass. Oh God! Everybody I've wanted to raid is not doing. They're on like video games or something. I am not gonna raid her just because I see titties. Let's go hang out with Pastor Phil. If you are watching on Twitch, you are heading over to Christ United Mission. Please don't be too mean to Pastor Phil. He gets worked up. He's a good guy. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before we hit the sack. I'm JustinFREAKIN. I'll see you tomorrow night on the Troll Patrol live.